traditionally reserved for wāhine, is there a place for trans wāhine to wear Moko Kauae?
I've had everything from saying you're a disgrace to tikanga to you're going to hell.
Te Warena has always felt people's eyes on her.
Always asked, are you a boy or a girl? All my life. Sometimes I'd say I was a girl. So I just said I was. My name was Karen or something like that. Or then it changed to Taylor. I went through all these different names.
But in recent years, she's been receiving a new type of attention. As one of Aotearoa's most well-known TikTok influencers.
It was Josie Rose who went viral first. So she went viral with the Whitney Houston song. That was my favourite song when I was younger.
Her girl's viral moment sparking a massive audience.
It got 1 million likes in half an hour or something. It was quite scary, but at the same time exciting.
1 million likes became 1 million followers, all sharing in Te Warena's journey as a transgender wahine raising 3 tamariki.
Being a mum is a nice part. Being a transgender woman and a mum, it takes a lot of energy.
Born Warren Dion Smith, home was the small North Waikato settlement of Mangatangi.
So I was very spoiled as an only moko to my nanny. Always brought up around Waiata, always around the marae.
As a kid, she expressed her feminine side.
This started back when I was like 4 or 5. You know, I was always putting makeup on.
Which sometimes made life in a small rural community tough.
Being told that you're not masculine enough, trying to fit in, but you were always with the girls. So, you know, when the boys said, oh, you should be with the boys, and why don't you play rugby? I left school at 13 because you didn't feel safe.
That same year, Warren attempted suicide.
And then my nana had to watch me get taken off in the ambulance. Not for attention, but I did it because I didn't know how to express myself.
Te Warena soon left home and discovered the drag and transgender community on K Road.
I met my first transgender when I was 16, and I thought she was the most beautiful woman. Those were my exciting times growing up because I was rebelling. I was dressing up. Heels were a hard thing to find, but dresses and everything were really easy and was skinny, and you just fit in.
Was there anyone in your family that was against it at that time?
I hear some of my cousins talking, and they, you know, it's the same kōrero. They would say, if my son turned out like that they'd beat it out of them.
These attitudes added to her constant struggle with her gender identity.
Behind me is Queen Mary's Centre, the Huranui.
I was admitted into Queen Mary Centre, which is a drug and rehabilitation centre.
It was a place for recovery. Recovery meant drug addicts, sex addicts, and then there was me, people who wanted to be transgender.
You were programmed in a way of thinking that maybe you did have a problem. Believing you were powerless over whatever it was that was controlling you and that your life had become unmanageable. I asked the psychologist, is this a mental illness? Because it was back then. So I went in wanting to be transgender in 1996, but I came out of there because I was told that I wouldn't be a woman. I got to a point where I thought, what can I do? You didn't have what you have now. Didn't have all these support networks. You didn't have these wraparound services. It was you're on your own.
Te Warena pushed the idea of transitioning into a woman aside, instead focusing on her career.
I've been with Whero Workshop for around 11 years.
Becoming an award-winning hair and makeup designer.
I feel so blessed to be able to be in an actual industry that have claimed me for their own as an artist.
working on Hollywood blockbusters The Hobbit and Avatar. But her path took an unexpected turn when she became the full-time carer of 3 young children from her whānau.
They knew me all their life.
Siblings Te Whero, Charlie and Josie Rose moved in with her in 2019.
I became a legal guardian.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
How's your day been?
It's been pretty awesome today.
I didn't know really what my role was until they were all there, and you know, these like 6 set of eyes, you know, all looking up, little eyes.
Hi.
That was really a time where I thought
Hi.
I didn't have the skills, and that was the hardest thing.
But just as she became a solo parent, Te Warena decided to transition into a woman.
I was working on a movie called Red, White and Brass,
We're gonna show our pride to the world.
and it was a Tongan movie, beautiful movie. It just started my first day of hormones. Being in my mid-40s, starting that, scary, but they really embraced me.
So while you're getting the kids, you were transitioning, you
Oh,
were dealing with your
Hormones,
Yeah.
the hormones were racing, a lot of crying in the night, not knowing what to do. The only way I could get over this was doing TikToks.
And when the kids joined in, her TikToks really popped off, amassing millions of views.
And we love you. Thank you so much.
How did you handle the attention?
It was always very positive. We've never had a negative response outside of here. It will always be online.
Stop fighting!
The biggest comments on TikTok were, how did I have these children? You're a man, you know. Oh, that's the dad, you know. No, that's the mum. And the kids would see this at school.
When the kids heard those kind of comments, did they see you in a different way?
It becomes one of those ones where I say, don't worry about it. But at the same time, I didn't know how to deal with that. I think I probably do owe them an apology for putting them in that situation. And so do the kids call you dad?
I'm a woman.
Hi, I hope you all have a wonderful day today.
That'll be 340 tabs.
Put it on my tab, please.
You don't have a tab?
Millions of fans across the world have watched Te Warena's tamariki grow up on social media.
Thank you to our supporters and our moderators and friends.
Audiences in particular connected with her eldest boy, Te Whero.
Fab white potato.
Oh, thank you.
And hot chocolate for me.
Oh, thank you so much. All his life, Te Whero would always call me Jojo.
What does dodo mean?
And well, to me, I said it was an ugly, extinct bird.
Favorite dodo?
He had the same personality his whole life. I knew straight away he was going to be challenging, but also he was going to be fun.
Te Whero was born with Klinefelter's, a genetic disorder that impacted his development and speech.
As a kid, he was always sick.
Despite his condition, Te Warena encouraged the 16-year-old to live life to the fullest.
He saw himself as just natural and normal.
But at the start of this year, his health took a dramatic turn.
He started getting a sore leg, like a sore shin. Then he got a sore stomach and was vomiting. And then the doctors, when I rang them, says, just monitor it. The next day he was still vomiting. The next day he said, can you take me to the hospital?
And there, they received devastating news.
They did a CT scan and it showed mass in his brain. Everything was riddled with cancer.
He had just days to live.
He was on life support. That was the only thing keeping him going. I said that I'd like it removed. And he I felt him say I was all right. And then he was gone. I didn't cry. I just stayed very staunch because I had to get through all of this on my own.
But she wasn't on her own. She was joined by all her followers mourning around the world.
Probably my favorite young Maori creator, Whero. He touched me, and I know he touched millions across the world.
It's the most painful that I've ever experienced. And also remembering that his brother and sister are grieving in their own way as well.
After Te Whiro's death, Te Warena wanted to find a way to honour her boy.
What led to that decision of getting your Moko Kauae done?
When people ask what this is about my grief, about him.
She knew some people would be against her receiving a kauae because she wasn't born a woman.
My auntie, she is our kaikaranga on our marae. She is the matriarch. And she said, you deserve it. And she said, don't question that ever again. This is yours.
She made sure she found the right tāmoko artist.
I chose a wāhine to do this. She knew me, knew my story. The two manu were placed on each side of my eyes, one representing the passing, or one representing the living, and one representing male and female. The kauae sits in the middle of those two.
How did it feel lying down and preparing for the receiving of your Moko Kauae?
I had all my family and friends around holding my hand. And also my auntie's korowai that she made. Then when I saw myself, I think, who is that? So it was like looking at somebody different.
What has the reaction been like seeing you, someone who is a transgender woman, wearing a Moko Kauae?
I've had everything from saying you're a disgrace to tikanga, to only women should get this. Some saying you're going to hell. And then others are just saying, you know, well, she can do what she wants to do.
The debate around transgender wāhine receiving Moko Kauae comes as a controversial bill goes through Parliament.
Legislation Definitions of Women and Men Amendment Bill, first reading.
I've been watching this for a while. This is not something new.
The bill establishes biological sex as the overarching definition for man and woman in any legislation. This is regardless of an individual's gender identity.
People deserve respect and safety, and biological sex is real and matters.
If something scares you about a group of people that you don't really know or understand, I invite you to reach out and to try and understand.
It isn't made law yet, and it might not. Hopefully it won't. But for me, even if the bill did go through, it doesn't take away my right to be who I am. It's a taonga. This is the grief, not just the beauty, but part of the grief. When I see this, I can always see Te Whiro.
What do you think Te Whiro would say if he got to see you with your Moko Kauae?
Te Whiro said, Dodo should get one of these. This is like last year. I said, don't be ridiculous. His first thing will go, oh, nice, yeah. But Te Whiro, oh, yeah, nice.